Just as a wave of fresh optimism was building in the camps of both the Tifosi and the Papaya Army, major news has emerged that has sent a shockwave of concern through the paddock. Both Ferrari and McLaren, two teams tipped to be major contenders, are now heading to the crucial first preseason test in Barcelona on the back foot. They are in trouble, facing a self-inflicted setback that could have damaging consequences for their entire season. This isn't just a minor hiccup. For a partnership that desperately needs to prove its worth, this is a blow that could haunt them for months to come. So, what is this major bad news? It all comes down to a critical and now controversial decision made by both the Maranello and Woking outfits. Both Ferrari and McLaren chose to conduct the initial shakedown of their new 2026 challengers, the SF26 and the MCL39, at their own private test tracks. Ferrari ran at Fiorano, and McLaren used the historic Silverstone circuit. On the surface, this makes perfect sense. These tracks are home turf, convenient, and allow the teams to operate in a familiar, controlled environment. However, the problem isn't where they ran, but what they ran on. The FIA, in its regulations for these limited mileage shakedowns, mandates the use of a specific non-competition demonstration tire supplied by Pirelli. These tires are not the same as the slick racing tires that will be used during preseason testing and on Grand Prix weekends. They are designed to be durable and conservative, offering a very different level of grip and performance characteristics. And herein lies the damaging blow. By running on these demo tires, both Ferrari and McLaren have effectively wasted their one and only opportunity to gather crucial real-world data before the official test begins. For all the latest breaking F1 news and the deepest analysis of the 2026 season, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Hit that notification bell because you need to know how this story develops. The championship fight may have just been compromised before a single wheel has been turned in anger. To understand why this is such a massive issue, you have to understand the monumental challenge of the 2026 regulations. These cars are not just an evolution, they are a revolution. They feature radically new power units with a huge increase in electrical power, and a complete rethink of aerodynamics with the introduction of active aero. The way the car generates downforce, the way it behaves under braking, and the way it puts power down onto the tarmac are all completely different from what the teams have known for the past decade. The single most important job during a shakedown is to ensure that the data from the real car on the real track matches the data from the virtual car in the simulator. This is called correlation. If the numbers match up, the engineers can trust their simulation tools and continue development with confidence. If the numbers don't match, they are essentially flying blind. By running on demonstration tires, the data collected by Ferrari and McLaren is now fundamentally compromised. The grip level is different, the tire's stiffness is different, and the way it reacts to temperature is different. This means the aerodynamic data, the suspension load data, and the power unit performance data are all skewed. It's like trying to test a world-class sprinter while they're wearing hiking boots. Sure, you can check that their legs work, but you're learning nothing about their true potential or their technique. Now, contrast this with the approach taken by their rivals. Teams like Red Bull and Mercedes are expected to use one of their two allocated promotional events, often called filming days, right before the Barcelona test. These filming days allow for 100 kilometers of running and, crucially, they permit the use of the actual Pirelli race tires that will be used in testing. This is the smart play. These teams will arrive in Barcelona with 100 kilometers of clean, relevant, and correlated data. They will already have a baseline understanding of how their new car behaves on the correct tires. They can hit the ground running on day one of the test, immediately moving on to performance runs and setup optimization. Meanwhile, what will Ferrari and McLaren be doing? They will be spending the precious first hours or even the entire first day of the Barcelona test doing the basic correlation work they should have already completed. While their rivals are hunting for tenths of a second, Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris will be stuck doing basic systems checks and trying to figure out if their simulators are telling them the truth. In a testing window that is already incredibly short, this is a catastrophic loss of time. They have willingly given their competitors a head start. For Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari, this is especially frustrating. After the immense hype surrounding his move in 2025, the season that followed was a brutal reality check. A winless, podiumless campaign that tested the patience of everyone involved. The 2026 regulations were supposed to be the reset button, the moment where the partnership truly began. The energy from Hamilton's first run in the SF26 was a sign of that renewed hope. But this strategic misstep pours cold water on that fire. Hamilton, now in his second year, needs to be leading the charge, not playing catch-up. He needs every single lap to steer the development of a car that must be a title contender. Instead, His crucial initial feedback will be delivered while the team is still trying to get its bearings. Think about the human element here. Hamilton's difficult first year at Ferrari wasn't just about a lack of performance. It was about integrating into a new culture and building relationships. The 2026 car is the first machine built with his full year of input. It represents their collective hope. When your first day of proper testing is spent on basic data validation instead of performance tuning, it creates a subtle atmosphere of frustration. It's a crack in the foundation of this critical second-year push, a needless hurdle that could have been easily avoided. Furthermore, the technical challenge cannot be overstated. The 2026 cars are expected to be notoriously difficult to set up. The interplay between the active aerodynamics, the complex power unit deployment, and the mechanical grip is a puzzle with a million pieces. The engineers rely on their simulation tools, the wind tunnel, CFD, and the driver-in-the-loop simulator to predict how the car will behave. But these are just predictions. The shakedown is the first chance to ask the real car, is our virtual understanding correct? By using the wrong tires, Ferrari has received a muffled, unclear answer to the most important question of their preseason. This forces the team into a reactive mode. They now have to spend valuable computing resources and engineering man-hours trying to create a new demo tire model to try and filter their compromised data. It's an extra, unnecessary step that a team like Red Bull or Mercedes simply doesn't have to worry about. They can focus all their energy on finding performance, while Ferrari is still trying to find a reliable baseline. It's a small deviation, but in the F1 development race, small deviations at the start lead to massive gaps by the end of the season. The situation at McLaren is arguably even more concerning. Under Andrea Stella, McLaren had a phenomenal development trajectory. They were seen as the team with the sharpest development curve, the one most likely to challenge the established frontrunners in 2026. They have the talent of Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, a new wind tunnel, and a new simulator. All the pieces are in place. But this decision to shake down at Silverstone on demo tires feels like an unforced error, a moment of surprising naivety from a team that has been so operationally sharp. Like Ferrari, they will now arrive in Barcelona behind the 8 ball. Lando Norris, a driver desperate to finally get his hands on a car capable of winning a championship from the very first race, will have to sit patiently while his engineers recalibrate their entire world. It's a frustrating delay that a team with championship aspirations simply cannot afford. It blunts their momentum and puts immediate pressure on the entire organization to recover that lost time, which often leads to more mistakes. So while it may seem like a small detail, the choice of tire for a 15-kilometer shakedown has snowballed into a major strategic disadvantage for both Ferrari and McLaren. They have dealt themselves a damaging blow. In a year where the learning curve is steeper than ever, they have chosen to start their climb from a lower point than their rivals. This isn't just about one lost day of testing. This has a domino effect. A slow start in Barcelona means less time to understand the car, which means less time to develop effective upgrades for the first few races. After the disappointment of 2025, Ferrari and Hamilton cannot afford a poor start to the season. It would completely derail their comeback narrative. The development race in 2026 will be ferocious. And starting on the back foot means you are always reacting, always chasing, instead of leading the pack. Ferrari and McLaren have handed a gift to their rivals. They have traded a small amount of convenience for a massive amount of valuable, competitive data. It's a gamble that makes little sense and one that could prove to be incredibly costly. The trouble is real, and the pressure is now immense. The big question is, can these two giants of the sport recover from this self-inflicted wound? The answer will begin to unfold under the Spanish sun in Barcelona.